Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. This is a different video. It's not housing reviews or anything like that. This is kind of a video explaining how I got into Final Fantasy XIV and kind of my experience in, like, I guess the first few weeks of playing it. So I got into Final Fantasy XIV around exactly 1 year ago. I've been playing the game for pretty much 1 year. 1 year ago, we were still very hardcore in the COVID pandemic. I hadn't been vaccinated at the time because in Canada we didn't have the surplus of vaccines that we ended up getting a few months later. And it was also during a point in my life, and the only point in my life, where I had been laid off from a job because COVID happened, and office buildings required everybody to work from home, or at least the government required that, so there were a lot of layoffs during that time, and I unfortunately was one of them. So needless to say, I had a lot of free time. So my experience with MMOs before had pretty much only been World of Warcraft and some other social multiplayer type games. But World of Warcraft I really liked, but it's obviously extremely dated. But it was fun to play it with a friend. I really liked certain areas of it, and it kind of introduced me to MMOs, but the big thing I struggled with that game is, being my first MMO, I didn't really understand a lot of the usual concepts of MMOs, so like I didn't understand the way a party functions with like being a tank, a healer, a DPS, all that. I had no idea what any of that really meant, nor did I have any idea about the game's economy, which in Final Fantasy could be compared to like using the market board and all that. So I kind of dropped off from playing World of Warcraft. In that time I was researching other MMOs just to see what there was, because the first MMO I was actually interested in playing was Elder Scrolls, because I love Skyrim. I love the lore of the Elder Scrolls world. It's just really cool. So I was looking into that, and the three big MMOs I was seeing at the time were World of Warcraft, Elder Scrolls, and Final Fantasy XIV. And oddly enough, after watching gameplay footage of all three, Final Fantasy XIV actually seemed like the one I least wanted to play. I felt that I would rather try Elder Scrolls first. So really, it was by chance that I got Final Fantasy, because I saw it on PlayStation 4 and I was blown away by the fact that it was crossplay, that you could play from your PS4 with PC people. And at the time it was selling on the PlayStation Store for half off, and it was, I guess, the game with all the expansions up to that point in like 30 free days. So, and I think it was like $30 or something, so I said, fuck it, I'll try it. So I tried, and the first thing I remember is being in the quicksand in Ul'dah, because I had chosen Black Mage. I really liked the character creation off the bat. I spent probably a good 15 minutes just designing my character. So I had a good impression going in just based on that, because the characters were far more detailed, obviously, than World of Warcraft. But once you get out of quicksand and you're kind of doing missions, I realized, oh, this is a lot like World of Warcraft, except it has way better graphics. And I'm playing this on the PS4, and I'm all comfortable sitting on the couch, and this is awesome. So I think the big thing that kept me playing the game was getting into my first free company. And I don't know if that happened the first day or the second day I was playing, but I was in Ul'dah, and I don't know why, but I just randomly went up to this one person who was a female Makote. I basically just said, hey, what's up? I'm new. And I think that's pretty much it. And I don't know where the conversation went from there, but I got invited to the free company, and I was probably like level 3 at the time. And immediately everyone was really friendly, and they showed me the free company house, and I kind of met everyone, and it was really cool. And so the person I had met had started helping me out with missions, and I hadn't unlocked my first dungeon at the time, which I guess is Satasha. So they were just helping me out with these missions, and I was already loving the social dynamic of it. I was, you know, building a friendship with this person who I guess is still one of my best friends on the game a whole year later, which is awesome. I'm still in the same free company. But among that, the other things that hooked me in the game were the glamour, like choosing all the clothing and being able to dye it, and really just the atmosphere of the game. I remember at one point being around Blackbrush Station, and it was storming and raining, and I was wearing like a long coat at the time, and you could see the bottom of the coat like flapping in the wind, and I was like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing for an MMO. It just had so much detail to it. But when I got to my first dungeon, the World of Warcraft shit I was struggling with kind of came back. You know, I was kind of learning the system of how parties work in MMOs. And especially I remember not knowing how need and greed worked on loot. And I was like, oh my god, did I fuck it up? Was I pressing the wrong button on loot? These people are gonna hate me. They were totally patient with me. They taught me everything. They helped me learn everything. So Final Fantasy helped me learn a lot of the staples of MMOs that for some reason I just wasn't learning in World of Warcraft. And the big difference between the two games and the reason Final Fantasy hooked me is because World of Warcraft, I was playing Classic at the time. If you weren't playing the way you were supposed to, if you were a noob, you were getting chewed out by your teammates. Like, I was getting kicked from parties, doing dead mines and all that shit, and it was just not a welcoming environment. Final Fantasy, for some reason, was completely the opposite. It was completely supportive, friendly, and fun. And with all the free time I had, I was just completely hooked. And it sucks because I was laid off for maybe 2 months, and it was a really weird time in my life. And I really wish that I had discovered Final Fantasy on day one of that time, because I would have had just an abundance of free time while I was job searching to play the game. But ironically enough, I only started playing the game about a week before finding a new job. But anyways, now it's been a year later, and the game has been a really big part of my life. I play it pretty much late at night whenever I can after work. It's just a great place to come back to and relax. I'm still not done the main story quest because I had gotten so distracted by the social and customization aspect of the game. And what I like about Final Fantasy in retrospect is you can play the game however you want. People specialize their time in the game to such specific things because there's just so much to do. Like, some people only do raids, or they only do Eureka, or they're all about the housing or getting the glam, all of that shit. And my addiction at the time was decorating my apartment and my clothing and just chilling with the free company. And if you've played the game, you probably know that free companies can have their share of drama and comedy, and it's a wild ride. At least it was with my free company. And I started off on Leviathan, and I'm now on Goblin, and it's just been a wild ride. So yeah, there's not much more to say in terms of how I got into the game, but needless to say, I think it's an absolutely incredible game. I love the design of it, I love the visuals, I love the feel of the game. It's just amazing. Anyways, I think in the future I'll definitely be doing more review videos of housing, and there's a lot of other things I could touch on. So if there's any subjects you guys would like me to cover about my experience with the game, let me know in the comments and I'll definitely get to that. Anyways, I want to thank the recent subscribers to this channel and the people who've been commenting. You guys have really kind of inspired me to keep this going. And I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you'll enjoy what's more to come. Have a good night.